Let me show you the steaks that I've picked for tonight. So the first one is actually a ribeye, and this was from my last batch of meat. So that's going to be for the little two kids. They won't eat all of it, so whoever else eats. Then I picked two sirloins from my new batch of meat. So that's pretty exciting. And one of them is going to be peppered, and the other ones are just going to be your basic steak seasoning, some salt and pepper type of a thing. But yeah, that is what we're doing for steak, sirloin. And let me tell you something about Broken Arrow cattle. I have had several different kinds of meats from a few other farms, and I am not just saying this, but this truly is some of the best, if not the best meat that we have had. And I'm so excited to use it. And I know that pretty much every time I've never had, well, not pretty much, absolutely every time I've ever made anything, it has come out and turned out great. I've not had to worry about thinking, oh, is this cut of meat going to be too tough? Is this going to taste gross? None of it all tastes fabulous, and it turns out great every time. So I definitely would look into them, especially if you're local to this area, because I don't believe they ship, but local to this area. And I know she sets up at some other places throughout Ohio, but there you go. Broken Arrow. We're going to do this the only way I really know how. This is a big thing of garlic. See? I ripped that little top part off, and I am going to just pour a little bit of olive oil over it, right in there. Wrap it up in foil, and I'm going to pop it in the oven at 350 and let it roast until it's all smushy inside. And that's it. For the steaks, for seasoning, I'm using basic steak seasoning on mine and the kids and our older daughter. And then my husband, he just likes a lot of cracked pepper and some salt. So that is what we're doing here. I use the baggies, and then I set it aside for a few hours to let it all kind of marinate, even though there's no liquid in it. And then I will pull it out and grill it in a little bit. Potatoes boiling, mashed potatoes, and I do leave skin on. I know some people say, oh, only with red potatoes. If someone can tell me why that is, I would be happy to just switch, but this saves so much time, and honestly, it saves my fingers from cramping up. So we just cut it and throw them all in the pot, and we add a couple things. I apologize, I thought the camera was pulled out some more. So I'm adding minced garlic and some salt to the water. Then we're gonna pop it on the stove. This is cold water and it will bring up to a boil with everything in it. Then we're gonna make some green beans. I use frozen green beans. I put some ghee, salt, pepper, garlic, some coconut oil, and then we pop those in the oven. Now, I found this the other day. I'm going to use this to make some gravy. This is some organic beef bone broth, but it's concentrated, and it says it makes like 14, cups or something. So I looked at the ingredients and was pretty clean, and this was much cleaner than bouillon. And so that's what we're going to try. Now, it was really sticky. So it's 4 teaspoons per cup. So as you see, it just kind of blobbed out, but it gets really sticky and I struggled. You know, I'm stirring it in. Oh, this is super hot water. Came out of the hot water dispenser. So, and it's still not coming out. So I was like, okay, let's take a break for a second. Okay, so I finally have plenty in there. I'm gonna stir it up a little bit. And as you see, it doesn't matter how much I was stirring, it was still sticking to the spoon. But it did taste great. I just made a basic roux gravy for this. Now let's check out the garlic that we roasted early. I roasted earlier technically, but you know, you're watching, so it's a we. It's nice and squishy. And we're just gonna grab the end and shove it out that little hole. Just squeeze it, it comes out, it gets very messy. There might be an easier way or a better or less mess way, but I have no idea. So we're gonna get this all out, see how those all just kind of pop out, and then you kind of squeeze them again. Make sure you get all those papers off. What are those called anyways, those little papers? Okay, so after this, you're gonna wanna make sure to have your stainless steel spoon nearby with some soap to get the smell off your hands. But this is perfect. I'm gonna go wash my hands. Okay, now grab a fork and mush it up some more, whatever's left. And then I'm actually gonna throw some ghee in here and stir that together and set this aside while I get some other things going. Mashed potatoes, I like to use cream cheese and butter and salt, pepper, some more garlic. You know, hey, I love garlic. We're gonna add all this together, and if need be, add a little more butter, add a little milk, whatever it is to get to the consistency that you like it. Okay, little story that is just sweet, I think. Early in our marriage, my husband explained to me that his grandmother used a potato masher. You see it sitting over there? And I was raised to use an electric mixer. makes a completely different consistency. And he's like, yeah, I remember her being in there all day in the kitchen, blah, 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 you know, kind of being goofy. Anyhow, I decided one day, you know what? I'm going to try this potato masher. And I have loved it. I have done it ever since. And it really is easy. It tastes better. The consistency is different. So it was a little bit to get used to. But I do it this way. It's beautiful. So here we go. I added a little bit more milk to make it just a little bit smoother. And there they are. Books, and I am tired. I still need to go clean up the kitchen. So that is the one thing that makes this really difficult, is eating out was so much easier because I didn't have to clean up, and now we're cleaning up. Now I do get some help, I'm not gonna lie, but you're still like, you take all this time cooking and preparing a meal for it to get eaten in such a quick amount of time, only to be left with all the dishes to clean up. So that's what's next. But, you know, the steak turned out wonderful. I wouldn't have doubted it I never doubted it in the first place. And mashed potatoes were good. I did wind up having to put more butter, and then I did add some milk to get it to a nice consistency. Those were a little bit, they took a little bit more than what I usually have to put in. And the green beans were pretty decent. Something, I must have missed something. They weren't as good as I used to make them, but they were still good. Does that make sense? You know, sometimes you can make things really, really good. And then other times it's not a fail. It's just not exactly what you used to do. So again, it is what it is, you know, and it's going to take some time. And I forgot to look at tomorrow's meal, so I'm not sure what that's going to be. Well, Saturday's meal. I do know that Sunday is Cinco de Mayo, and we did have to change that up a little bit on the menu. So we won't be doing breakfast on Sunday, but we will be doing some form of Mexican type food. So I think that's right. Yeah. Cinco de Mayo is on Sunday. Okay, so that's it. I'm going to go do some dishes, clean up the kitchen. Let me share a little bit about Saturday's meal. Basic breakfast, waffles, bacon, sausage, and then I added some strawberries and things from the day before. Have a great day. Be blessed.